Usually when I talk with new students, I notice that they have good reading skills, but their biggest difficulty is to remember the words when they need to talk. And I notice that the problem isn't that they don't know the words, they understand them. They can read the words mentally. However, they can't use those words into a conversation. I realize that this happens because these words are in the passive vocabulary and they need to be transferred to their active vocabulary so the person can actually speak. Want to understand how this works? Well, I'm gonna talk about this in this video. Hello friends, welcome to your Christian Productivity channel. I am Luciana Sampaio. Passive vocabulary refers to the words you understand and can recognize when you hear or read them, but you're not yet able to use them confidently when speaking or writing. This happens because while learning, people often spend more time taking in new words than actually practicing how to use them in a real communication. When you're writing or speaking to someone and you realize that you use this phrase, "This movie was unforgettable," but then you stop and you think, okay, this doesn't really communicate what I want to say to that person. This doesn't express as I wanted to. If I could use words like memorable or remarkable would sound better. But in the end, you choose a simpler vocabulary and simpler words because this is what pops in your head when you are speaking. It's like you can't recall the words precisely in the moment. It's pretty hard. This means that your English becomes limited and you get stuck using always the simpler phrases, the simpler words like bad, small, cool, a lot, real good. That's how you usually talk to people. And see that this is not a problem because when you are in the beginner level, that's normal. You can use simpler words. But as you try to move to the next level, you need to start using other words. The reason behind this is simple: a lack of active practice. Many times you study, read, or listen passively, but don't spend enough time actually using those words in your own speaking or writing. The solution is very simple. You need to activate your passive vocabulary. You already understand many words, but now you need to use those words in your conversation. The goal is to take the words that you can recognize and turn them into the words that you can actually speak. Let me give you an example. If you learn the word confident, it's not enough to only recognize it. When you hear it, you must use it on purpose. I feel more confident speaking English now. She looked confident during the presentation. And I'm not saying over here that you need to force new and advanced words into all the conversations that you're gonna have, into all the things that you're gonna write in your diary or something. It's about gradually adding something more. Because when you don't add, you're gonna be stuck. That's the results. So let me give you a step-by-step guide right now. The first step is to identify your passive words. And you can do this by using two strategies. Let me talk with you about the first one. You need to pay attention to the words you skip when speaking. Let's say that you are having a conversation with someone and you're trying to express your feelings. Let's say that you had a bad day. So you're talking to the person and you say, "Oh, I didn't have a good day. It was pretty bad. I felt, how can I say, I felt bad. I felt sad during the day. I felt," and you start thinking, well, what words can I use in here? And you are always using the same words and the simplest words possible. When you notice this, you need to stop and look it up. You need to try to search it. Oh, what I can't speak in English right now. How can I express myself better? And you can use AI to do this. You can use ChatGPT and then you can ask, okay, how can I express my feelings? I'm feeling like this. How can I say this in English in a way that a native can understand me? And then you're gonna search it. You're gonna notice the words that you can use and then you're gonna try to add those words into the conversations that you're gonna have later on. I'm gonna talk about those things later in the video. Agora eu gostaria de demonstrar um pouquinho aquilo que eu acabei de falar pra vocês. Então, basicamente, eu pesquisei no ChatGPT simulando como se eu realmente estivesse sobrecarregada com o meu trabalho, estivesse tendo dificuldades para lidar com os meus colegas de trabalho. E aí ele me deu várias opções para que eu falasse, dependendo do meu tipo de emoção que eu preferisse. Eu achei as opções muito boas. E daí eu copiei uma que eu achei ok, coloquei no Google Tradutor. Essa é uma dica que geralmente eu dou para os meus alunos para melhorar a pronúncia. Então, coloquei no Google Tradutor e ouvi, porque quando você escuta, você realmente consegue captar a pronúncia e começar a falar tudo corretamente. Anyways, let's talk about the second option. You compare your writing to native speakers' writing. Take a short text you wrote and compare it to a simple text written by a native speaker. It can be from Reddit, Instagram, a newsletter, or a video caption. This is good because you're gonna have contact with the words that usually the native speakers use and that you're not really used to. For example, you write, "The place is very beautiful," but a native speaker usually writes something like this: "The place is gorgeous. It's breathtaking." Do you understand? The native speaker have the words that it really can express what you're feeling. It's not just, "Oh, it's a nice place." That's not enough. You need to improve. You need to say in a different way. Anyways, let's go to the second step. Practice actively. Once you have your list, start using those words. Don't let them stay on the paper. Say them out loud in simple sentences. Or you can also write with them phrases, journal entries, captions, short texts, anything you want. Let's say that you discovered the word overwhelmed, and you can form sentences by using this word. "I was completely overwhelmed this morning, but I handle it." Or let's say that you just discovered the word accurate, and then you can use in a sentence. Her explanation was so clear and accurate that everyone understood. I guess that the best way to do this is not only speaking, it's not only using in your conversations, but it's especially writing, because when you write, your brain understands much better. So please try to dedicate a time to write new sentences, new phrases, to practice those new words. And of course, I'm going to talk about repetition in here. So using a word once is not enough. You need to consistent repetition. The next day, the next week, the next month, you need to repeat those words. You need to create more phrases. You need to talk with people and try to use those words, because this is going to make your brain understand that this is a normal word right now, that this is now an active vocabulary. And of course, that you can use tools to try to make your repetition even better, like Anki, flashcards, because this is extremely helpful since they remind you of words right before you forget them. In this video, I talked indirectly about input and output. And if you have any question about these strategies, you can check out this video. I see you in the next one, and remember, you are loved. Bye!